What's going on, guys? It's Tobin here with you. Thanks for checking out the channel. Be sure to subscribe over to the WQAM YouTube page. Watch Tobin Leroy every single weekday from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. Getting the crust out of my eyes. Late night last night. Boots on the ground at the Kaseya Center as it was draft night. Your Miami Heat using their 18th overall pick and selecting Jaime Jaquez Jr. New Triple J in town. You can move over Jaren Jackson Jr. as they take out the forward from UCLA with their 18th overall pick. And it was interesting enough, this guy was actually mocked in normally these mock drafts, how many people actually have these nailed outside of, obviously the top three picks, which had a little bit of drama for it. Although I will say that whole Shams flipping the odds thing, kind of fishy. There was some very palpable tension on Twitter between Woj and Shams last night. But getting to Miami's pick, it's funny. Like you sit there in that room, you're waiting for ESPN. Most of the picks you already know because they're getting leaked on Twitter. Not the Heat's pick. Helped it close to the vest. But I will say, this guy was in mocks. I think ESPN had him there. The Athletic had a write-up on him coming to Miami. And NBA TV also. Andy Katz had a whole thing about how Jaime Jaquez Jr. would fit with the Miami Heat, and you can see why. I mean, I definitely think the characteristics jump out, all the cliche Heat culture things that he brings to the table. I know that the first thing that jumps out to everybody is like, oh my God, he's a senior. He played all his years of college. How could that ever work out? Meanwhile, this is like the foundation of this has been not only guys who have played all of their college, but have played in multiple colleges and have had to go to Europe and come back, all of that stuff. So this guy's actually, in a lot of ways, Jaime Jaquez is taking the short route to the Miami Heat as compared to some other guys. But you think about it, it does make some sense should they end up keeping Jaime, who will get introduced today at 4:00 and do a traditional press conference. I'll give you some stuff from him here. 22 years old, not a super old rookie, not a super old senior. It's not like he's coming in here at 24 and banging on the door of a medical degree. He's coming in with some definite experience, strong kid. Definitely has a slow deliberateness to his game. And funny enough, and I think this is the thing that went viral for everybody yesterday with him, is that his favorite player is Jimmy Butler. And that's a pretty crazy thing. Now, I don't know if this is going to be a situation like Shabazz Napier where we're all giving lip service to how much we love each other, and then then all of a sudden he's in another team. But should he be here, he explains why Jimmy Buckets is his favorite guy to watch.
I think this is ultimate toughness, man. He's a competitor. He's a competitor. That's who he is, and that's what I try to be every single day. He elevates his team. He's got everything. He just knows how to play. He doesn't try. He always tries to make the right play, and I try to emulate that in my team as well.
And you can see it with the pump fakes. You can see it with, the way that he tries to get into passing lanes and things like that. Just it does feel like they're bringing in Jaime with a situation where they may lose some of their role guys to free agency. Max Strus, Gabe Vincent, both up for contracts. They basically took a project last year with Nikola Jovic and spent this entire year trying to, mold him, get his body right. And Adam Simon commented a little bit about that yesterday after the draft, but that's another story for another day. The other thing that was exciting about it, though, was that Adam Simon, the Heat's executive vice president of basketball operations, assistant GM, so that Spo's very excited about the move.
I think first step is we'll get him here tomorrow, and we'll get him ready for summer league, and that'll be up to the coaches to see what different lineups they can use him and how we can use him as a player that can go and get his own versus someone who is more used to coming off and getting it off passes. But I think he's shown an ability to do both, and so I don't see why we couldn't use him either or. Coach Spo, he was so excited. He was nervous, excited at the same time when we got him, and I think he sees what different options he can use Jaime in. Yeah.
I guess the only thing that people would get crazy with, and again, I'm not a draft guy. It's not my bag. Cam Whitmore from Villanova's the guy that really had a free fall in this draft. A lot of people projected him to be in the top 10, and some Heat fans were looking at this and, oh, this is the definite way to go. Again, I think that probably goes to the idea of age, that they are looking for a little bit of an infusion of somebody who's a little bit more mature, ready to go, ready to provide something, as opposed to a place like Houston where they have an entire youth movement where Whitmore ended up going. For this situation, Jaime Jaquez, I think the idea is, all right, if he is on this team, that he could be a plug into the rotation type of guy, can give you something. Not 19 years old, strong kid, will play some defense, will get after it. I think that the only thing that everybody's kind of worried about with him is his shooting, because his numbers weren't too great last year, although he did have a really great pre-draft process. I don't worry about that, especially if the kid's got some kind of talent in there. It's not like all of his years were bad shooting. The Heat just have a propensity to get the best out of these guys when it comes to their shooting, the way they can coach them up. Look at a guy like Caleb Martin, what they were able to do with him, and the kind of clutch shooting that he was able to do, the kind of confidence that he takes these shots with. That's a Heat staple, that they're able to try and get out of guys. And then, from certain times, like a guy who will get his teammates involved, will kind of get into those, passing lanes, will get on the ground dirty, will, get offensive rebounds, all that type of stuff. Intangibles. That stuff does help. Like it will definitely help you play as a young guy, will help you play early, and we'll get you out there. Here's a little bit more of Adam Simon on his first round pick.
That's his favorite player. I'm sure he studied him. We talked to so many people out west, not only with the UCLA program, but places where he worked out, and he's a student of the game. He spends a lot of time with it, so I could see where he picked that up. He seems like he really wanted to play here. Not that he told us that, but from everything that we had heard, and we heard from his agency that his family talked about coming here when they recruited him last year. So we found that out actually today after we drafted him.
Also, was welcomed to Miami on social media by Jalen Ramsey. I'm assuming that's an LA connection. Jalen was with the LA Rams. This guy's been at UCLA for a little bit, so I'm assuming there's something there. He also got the welcome from Chad Ochocinco. Not a surprise. Ocho's always welcoming all the Heat guys into town. And then, from this standpoint, also took a trip to Miami back in April, and he was actually on. We had him on the station afterwards with our guy Alejandro Solana, and talked about his trip down here to Miami.
Yeah, I was after the season. I went on a little vacation with some of my teammates. We went out to Miami and just went on our little vacation, went out to the beach, to the pool. We got a little boat, but I was able to really see the city. I'd only been one time before that, but I just love it, man. The city's incredible. Being on the water, the weather is also amazing. So I'm really excited to be in Miami.
Yeah, well, listen, not two bad places to play your career. LA and Miami. This kid is known as his places of location so far in his career. That's for sure. And listen, he's got the pit bull down on his Instagram posts and things like that. Should be a really, really interesting addition to Miami and what they can bring to the table. Excited to see some young guys contribute too. Like that's the thing. If they do go forward and he is here playing with Miami, you didn't get to see Nico play much last year. You didn't get to see much from Precious Achiuwa in his first year. I would like to see a Miami Heat first round pick. Now, I'm not even asking for Tyler Hero, Bam Adebayo. These guys are all-stars, borderline all-stars. Like I want to see just some contributions and see how he can grow and give the Miami Heat something from there. But from the character of him, age, loving Jimmy Butler, Spo seems fired up, all of those things. You could understand why this marriage did come to be last night on draft night.